Hi. Hey. Hi. It's me, your Void, and we are starting this video in front of my art wall, kind of, because I felt like it. I mean, I put this up for a reason. One reason being that I'm allergic to white walls, but also, it's pretty. Okay? But we're not here to talk about my, the art wall shenanigans. This is a vlog! Probably says so in the titles. Yay me for doubling down on information everyone already has. This is a vlog. This is going to be an Adventurerathon vlog, because Kirsty has decided we are going to do a mini round in March, so... Okay, cool. This mini round is based on the events on the past round, so if you're a bit lost, welcome to the club. You might want to join the entirety of this readathon. Normally we have our big rounds in July, so in July, yay, if you want to kickstart the entire thing. You can still join this one because this one is actually pretty easy. It is a round of snakes and ladders, but make it beans, because in the last big round we collected magic beans, and instead of burning them, most people decided we're gonna grow this bitch. So now we have to climb a giant beanstalk. You play it like snakes and ladders. If you need to know what the different colors of the things mean, go to Kirsty's announcement video. I'm going to link it somewhere, either up there or down there or whatever. I personally put a book down for every single prompt, so I just know what to read. I needed a bit of coordination. My entire normal March TBR is on this thing, so there is a chance of doubling up. How I will manage this between this vlog and my wrap-up, I don't know. We get there when it's time for that. What else? Oh yeah, there is a new character you can build. I say we as if I had anything to do with this round. I had not. I didn't even know the prompts beforehand. Kirsty came up with a new character, the healer, so you can also build a new character if you feel so inclined. If not, don't, I guess. But yeah, you can build a healer. I'm not going to build a healer, I'm just going to play the game. And I'm going to stop rambling now and go to play the game and then see what I have to read, I guess. The fact that it starts with the first 8 seconds and then gives you a population count of humans and genies, something tells me this is not going to be as wholesome as I thought. I have been proven right. Because we get the first 8 minutes, the world is a cube with explosions, and we already lost a bunch of people. I swear this comic is the most hilarious shit ever, and so this guy just reversed climate change. The genies don't like global wishes, but he managed to reverse climate change because his wish has appeared in less than 1% of wishes, so it's not negated. He's in Antarctica and he looks outside and he sees Santa with Rudolph, but someone wished for the moon to eat Santa? I finished 8 billion genies last night, and then I couldn't be asked to film, so we're filming this in the morning, so I might sound a little more scratchy than I did before, because my cold is always worse in the morning. I am half a coffee in. So, in 8 billion genies, I mean, you saw a couple of clips, right? It's such a beautiful little story. I thought, okay, the concept sounds silly. The concept is, okay, the second the 8 billionth person on this planet is born, every human on Earth gets a genie, no matter your age. The old, the middle-aged, the freshly born babies, everyone gets a genie and everyone gets a singular wish. And of course, some people take this wish immediately. These chapters are structured in a way, you saw that. It's like the first chapter is like, okay, what happens in the first 8 seconds? Then what happens in the first 8 minutes, the first 8 hours, years, decades, centuries. That is how this whole thing is structured. It's always in like eighths. And we start this comic off by being in a bar with a bunch of people. And then the genies appear. And everyone is like, huh? Except the barkeeper. The barkeeper just immediately fires off, I wish that this bar is completely immune to any and all wishes and their after effects. That's the first 8 seconds. And then people look outside and see what other people have wished for. There are like cowboys riding on T-Rexes, someone made the moon real. Multiple nations wish for their nation to be the biggest, baddest nation there is. And there are a couple of rules to these wishes. For example, the genies don't like to make global wishes. So all of these, my nation is the very best. They all cancel each other out because if everyone wishes to be the best, no one can be the best. And then, slowly but surely, you have this first wave of chaos coming through, and the people in the bar, they survive that. So now comes the question, okay, after the first 8 seconds, the first 8 minutes, the first couple of days, what are we going to do? Because the world is literally fucked at that point. Like, everyone has wished for so much bullshit. The world is completely overloaded with chaos. And then you follow these people, how they survive in the bar, how they grow close, how they work through differences they had in the beginning. Eventually they leave the bar once it's safe to leave the bar. Everything seems to happen in phases, in waves. You have the complete chaos in the beginning, then you let a bit of time pass, and everything has kind of calmed down because a lot of wishes have been made in reaction to other wishes. Like if you get eaten by a dinosaur and you have a genie, you're like, I wish not to get eaten by the dinosaur, right? So a lot of stuff has just happened, and it reaches this very fragile equilibrium within this chaos. We even get the explanation, okay, after this first wave of chaos, usually this second thing happens where people just wish for superpowers to make this new world of chaos better for other people. And then another wave comes in from the people who planned their wishes out, who have ideas instead of just going with the flow. And then we see this entire new society build itself up around this random apocalypse that happened, but also around the fact that there are still people who have their wishes. A lot of children still have their wishes because the genies made the rule, okay, you are too young, so we will not just react to when you say, I wish for blah, blah, blah. So you have to be at least 8 years old in order to make your wish. You have your genie with you the whole time, so you grow up with your genie, and when you're 8 years old, your genie is like, hey, by the way, you have a wish. So you have people living with these wishes for years and years, and some people actually become wish locked. They think so much about, okay, what will I wish for, that they never wish for anything. And then you have people who manage to steal other people's wishes for themselves, and you have these havens, which are societies that build themselves up from all of that chaos, and they go to war. And it's just such a beautiful story about human behavior and human psychology and the cyclic nature that we as humans tend to go through. Like, there are cycles in how nations are formed, how they sustain themselves, how they fall, how history keeps on repeating itself. It is that entire thing, but with like the aspect, okay, it's not just that someone wants to fight over oil or something, it's that people get these wishes. So now technically for a second, everyone has unlimited power, and what are you going to do with it? It is such a great exploration of that concept, which then evolves into this, like, how does a society work like that? How do people see each other? Like, if you spend your wish and then you meet someone who still has a wish, are you trying to steal the wish? Are you trying to protect this person and their wish? Like, it is such a look into the human psyche. And then by the end, we even dip into philosophy a little bit, because the genie that gets to fulfill the last wish is a genie that gets to stick around as a human. Like, if you have 8 billion people making a wish, the world ends. Period. It's an apocalyptic event. Apparently, this is like a cosmic balance thing. Like, every time 8 billion people live on this planet, the genies show up, everything is destroyed, and whoever gets the last wish gets to seed the new world after this. And the genie who is fulfilling that last wish gets to live as a human in that world. They basically experience the entire spectrum of what it means to be human. And in this specific story, the last genie made it their mission to figure out what is the perfect wish, because if you wish the perfect wish, there is no need for genies anymore. So the genies would be free of their obligation to humans, and humans would be free of this
obligation to like want for more, to wish for more, to have this one thing that is just out of reach that they really, really, really want to get to. So we have this entire last chapter is just people trying to figure out what is the perfect wish. What is the one thing that mankind needs in order to live a fulfilled existence? Not just individual people living a fulfilled life, but as an entire species. What do we need to be fulfilled in our very existence? And you get an answer for that. You get an answer for that in that thing. But I just think this story is so beautiful. So if you want to read something very funny, very quirky, that is surprisingly deep, go for 8 Billion Genies. That shit is so good. As someone with a background in cultural anthropology, this story is just incredibly solid. If you look at how societies work, how cultures start, evolve, and fall around such monumental things, but also on a smaller scale, it's really cool. And you get a lot of perspectives. You get a lot of perspectives in this thing, and it's good shit. Go read it. And by finishing 8 Billion Genies, I finished the first step on my little bean climbing adventure, but I also finished a read that was on my 12 and 12 bingo board bullshit thing. So yay me. On to the next one. Alright, so rule number 2 says I have to read The Kiss of Darkness for this vlog. No, not Kiss of Darkness, Beauty of Darkness. What? Beauty of Darkness is all the way down here on my bookshelves. I got it. Thankfully, I put Beauty of Darkness on that spot for a reason, because this is almost 800 pages. You see the flop? That is because they are using Bible paper for the pages of this book. This is almost 800 pages, even though it doesn't look like it. But the square is a cutesy patootsy amazing bonus square, so I only have to read 50% of this book in order to unlock the next roll. What is that? The end. 679. Oh god. Okay, 300, 335, 339 and a half. I have to read 339 and a half pages if I didn't fuck up my math. And then I can go and read something else. Half of this book is worth one full other book. I'm going to appreciate the fact that past me was clever enough to put this chonker on there.
Later.
Hello. It's me again. Ow. As you can see, there have been some new developments, which is why I haven't updated this vlog in a hot second. This is Riley. He is a 10-week-old Labrador. My mom and my stepdad surprised me with a puppy. I was just outside fixing up the garden because the temperatures were finally good. They were finally good. So I was like, okay, let's get ready for spring. Cut some plants, just clean the grass in general after the stormy season we had. And then they just show up and have this puppy in tow. Yeah, my days have been spent making sure that he doesn't pee or shit on the carpet, to varying levels of success. Today is day 4 that I have him, so it can be forgiven if he dumps one inside the house. But in between potty breaks, I have been reading. I landed on the... Yeah, there you go. I landed on the square that had me read Beauty of Darkness. Yeah, audiobook made this whole situation a little bit easier to deal with. But I read about 50% of Beauty of Darkness. This is also on my March TBR in general, so I will be finishing this book anyway by the end of the month. But for now, I will stop at 50% because A, it's a really big book, and B, it is so incredibly boring. Probably my fault, because I didn't continue right away after book 2. There has been a wee bit of time between me reading book 1, 2, and now book 3. So I have forgotten half of it, but I don't know. All of these characters have suddenly turned into assholes. And this entire first half is dominated by a conflict between Rafe, the male love interest, and what's her name? The princess that doesn't want to be princess anymore. I completely forgot her name. Leah, because he is from one kingdom, she's from another kingdom, and in book 2 they got information that there is a war coming from a third nation. They are going back to an outpost of his country. And he is constantly promising her, we will send people to your country to warn them because they are going to be hit first by this other country, right? And he's constantly promising her, yeah, I will send someone, you can go, we can go, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like not doing that for some reason. And she's hammering home the fact we have to warn my people. And he's like, we don't have to warn your people, we have to prepare my people. And I'm just here like, you're a prince, she's a princess. How about we share the workload? How about we send a singular messenger that your kingdom can probably spare? One singular messenger and be like, hey, bitches, this is some intel we have. Use it. Especially because these two kingdoms are supposed to be allied now, because that is why this whole marriage happened, right? And his excuse is, yeah, you are a wanted criminal in your kingdom now. Why are you sitting on your teddy bear? How are you even doing that? There you go. Yeah, so he's like, you're a wanted criminal in your kingdom, and she's like, yeah, you still have to let me go. Just send a fucking messenger that isn't a wanted criminal in your fucking kingdom, and then like just say, okay, this is some war intel our country got, and leave her out of it completely. Why do I have to teach you diplomacy here? I thought you were raised to be a king. Why is diplomacy such an issue for you? I'm so confused. You know, I'm so confused. Ooh. What are we doing? Okay. Yeah, you can only see his paws, but he's currently laying on his back on my lap, trying to kill his plushie. That is my leg. Please don't bite in my leg. Ouch. There you go. So the first 50% of this book is just that conflict, and because we have a third character in the mix, who's also still for some reason in the run as a love interest, we also add more drama between the two guys, just because we can. It's... I don't know. It's I know this is technically YA. At this point, like in the first book, they are 17 years old, and now it's like a couple of years later, I think they're like 18, 19. But, this is just so much unnecessary drama. You can literally cut out the first 200 and something pages by just sending a messenger instead of the fucking princess. This is such a non-issue. But at the point I'm at now, they are separating. He finally lets her go home and is like, okay, you do your thing. Just don't come crying back when you die. And I'm like, how very romantic. I'm incredibly bored by this. I will finish it just for the sake of it, I think. And the world building is amazing, and the politics, and once you get the politics, it's actually good. But for now, it's just random personal drama. And I do want to know what the fuck is up with that mother, because like, what? So, yeah, it's been a while since I updated this vlog. I made it to 50% of that, and then I rolled my next roll. Cue the video. And I had to read Court of the Vampire Queen by Katee Robert, and I'm also halfway through that. I don't know what I was expecting when I picked this one up. Like, I knew this is about vampires. Vampires! I knew this is about one lady getting a bunch of vampire boyfriends. Vampires! And it's a Katee Robert, so I was expecting really good smut. What I wasn't expecting is smut in every single chapter. What the fuck? Like, literally, I don't think I have read a single chapter where there wasn't at least some sort of sexual touching. What? For a bit of context, this almost 500-page book is actually 3 novellas that were smushed together, and I have read 1 2/3 of these novellas now, and wow. But even though there is so much smut in here, Katee Robert somehow manages to weave in just enough world building, just enough character work, just enough plot to make it make sense, to not have it feel overbearing. Like, I read Hers to Rule by, I forgot the author's name, and that was just smut for the smut's sake. This one feels like smut with a purpose, strangely enough, even though they don't do anything except fuck so far. So what is this about? This is about, what's her name? Mina, because of course her name is Mina, and she has been sent, she's half vampire, and she has been sent to this weird castle. It's like a little Beauty and the Beast aesthetic for now, and she has been sent to that castle to basically be like a blood sacrifice slash breeding mare for the vampire living there, because the vampire living there is a bloodline vampire, so he has superpowers, and her dad kind of just wants that in his family. I don't know. Turns out he is not a monster. He's just a guy who has been imprisoned, and that they shag, and then his friend comes over, and then they shag. Like, him and the friend, they shag, and then she's like, that looks kind of cool, I want to do that too. And then they shag, all three of them, and then there's another friend, and then he's like, I don't want to shag, but we kind of have to shag, because if we shag, then we can fuel enough power into a blood ward and break this prison. And that's the entire plot of the first novella. It's just shag for magical superpowers. Yeah, and it works. I don't even feel like I'm spoilering anything here, because that's literally all that's happening. I can even give you like what I have until like in the second like novella, second act in this thing is we are running away, and like we run away from Dad because Dad is now, oh no, you stole my favorite bloodline vampire, and also I need you because you are like my prized possession as like breeding mare. I don't know. It's very fucked up. And they are now on the run, so they all four of them, the three guys and Mina, they are running, and then they are shagging in a safe house, and then they figure out the safe house is compromised, so they run away, and then they shag again in the next safe house. I think we're now 3 safe houses in. And now they are in like a World War II bunker situation under a mountain somewhere in, I think it was Colorado. Also, she has like some really cool superpowers, and they are kind of tied to her shagging these vampires, but also at the same time they have superpowers and they get like supercharged when they shag her. It's like, it's a whole thing. It's not necessarily described as sex magic, but it feels like sex magic. Also, anytime anyone in this book bites anyone, it is immediate orgasm. So like I said, I was not expecting this to be what it is, but I am not complaining. I wouldn't call it pleasantly surprised. I am surprised, period, but not in a bad way. Let's leave it at that. So now I'm going to play a bit with him in hopes that he will take a nap, because we just took a dump. So that's usually when he's like hyper, and then after that he's just crashed. And I will give you an update when I finish this. Will you let me film? I know, I just had lunch. I smell amazing. It is I again, because I did in fact finish. Can you do it without biting? Can you do it without biting? Court of the Vampire Queen by Katee Robert. It stayed much of the same. It was just mostly smut for various reasons. And by the end, I figured out that was probably good. Because by the end we actually, like, when in Act 3, which is like the third novella of the original one, we get plot instead of smut. And I have to say, it's not. We have a little Cleo Evans situation going on where the plot is just... It exists, I guess, but the smut was a lot better than the actual plot. So Act 3 just didn't do it for me. Oh my god, my forehead looks ginormous like that. So the smut in this is amazing, and I like the character dynamics and kind of the characters. We don't really dive deep into them because duh, but once we actually get the plot, it's eh. But overall, I enjoyed my time with this book, so it's not a lost cause. I liked it. I liked it enough to not have hated my time reading with it. And it read really quickly. So much so that I would actually classify this as one of those candy reads. You know, you read it when you don't want to spend a lot of brain cells on the book. You just read it for pure and utter enjoyment. There is no message you need to pay attention to and stuff like that. So yeah, solid read for that. And just like last time, hey, it's my arm. That's my arm. And just like last time, I already did my next roll. Cue the clip. And it landed me on Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. This one is also on my main March TBR, so I will tell you about it for a hot second now, but I will not wrap this up in this video because it's on my March TBR, so I will wrap it up in my normal March wrap up. Riley needs to go pee. Yeah, so where was I? Yes, I will not give you a wrap up of Her Majesty's Royal Coven once I'm done with it. Just know that I'm currently reading it. Like I said, having a puppy kind of makes it hard to film, so I'm already almost done with it. And I enjoy my time with this so much. This is so good. This is so good. This was written as a direct fuck you to J.K. Rowling, and it shows, but it's so good. It is millennial enough that I feel a connection with all of this, but it's not so millennial that it is obnoxious, in my opinion. I can see people thinking it's obnoxious, but I think it's fine. But yes, so good. And Helena? Fucking hate her. Fucking hate Helena. I need someone to clap her in the face with a steel chair or something. I don't know. Drop kick her into a volcano or something. I don't know. I also have theories about this. I am on page 280. I just finished chapter 34. I have theories. If you want to know my theories about this book, you have to follow me on Pagebound, link down in the description below. I have theories about this. I have theories about this story. But this is so good. This is so good. Yes, this is the first book this year where I actively don't want to put it down, where every time I'm away from the book and I have like time for a quick think, I want to pick this book back up. I'm thinking about this book when there's nothing else to think about. So this is good shit. Again, if you want to hear my full thoughts on any of this, go to my wrap up, which will be posted at the beginning of next month. Good shit. Really good shit, in my opinion. So once I finish this, I will just insert the next roll. So just know that I finished reading this book, and we will see where my next roll will take me. You have to pee again. You just went. Oh, you just said that you can't play with the bird outside.
surprised that it took me this long to have to resort to a forest update in this vlog, given that Riley is around and I'm still walking that one as well. Fun fact, he is way more interested in what Riley smells like on my clothes than Riley is interested in what he smells like on my clothes when I come home. I tried. I swaddled him with my hoodie, like I literally rubbed my hoodie on him, and Riley didn't care when I came home. So, I guess. Why am I making this update here? Because I'm done. I am done with climbing that beanstalk. I'm done. Because I did finish Her Majesty's Royal Coven. Gave that 5 stars. That this book broke my dry spell since last April. My last 5-star was in April, because I'm not counting my reread of Promise of Blood, so my last 5-star was last year in April. It is now March, and I finally got another 5-star. If you want to have my full thoughts on that, you have to wait for my wrap-up. So then I rolled again. Rolled a 2, I think, and it landed me on 13. I remember landing on 13, and 13 is a skip. 13 means you can just keep going. So I went up the ladder, it landed me on 18, and then I rolled again, without having to read any other book in between. And I rolled another 2, and that landed me on 20. Meaning, I finished climbing the beanstalk, because I already read what's on prompt 20. There were 2 ways I could have gone with the 20th thing on the game board. A, put a book that I really wanted to read, or B, put something short to reward me. So I put something short that was also an arc. So it is both pleasure and, I guess, work combined. And yeah, I read Thimble. Long story short, I read Thimble by, I don't know the author's name. I put the cover on the screen. You can see it for yourself. I have the utmost faith in your reading capabilities. Thimble says in its own title that it is a new fairy tale. So I was going in expecting a fairy tale, and yes, it is a fairy tale. It feels like a fairy tale. But I have to say, it feels like a try-hard fairy tale. It tries very hard to be a fairy tale with like metaphors and lessons learned and blah blah blah. But it was so heavy-handed on those metaphors and on those lessons you need to learn that it felt like a cheap imitation of the fairy tale spirit. And I also don't really know who this is aimed at, because when you hear fairy tale, when you hear classical fairy tale, you think children, right? Like Little Red Riding Hood, when you hear that, your first thought is, oh yeah, that's a story for children. So I expected simpler vocabulary, not a too dense structure of anything going on. Childlike wonder, right? You don't get any of that! Well, at least not really. Not really. You get metaphors that don't feel like they are suited for kids, because kids simply don't know the concepts behind some of these metaphors. And you also get very complex words. And I don't mean that in a way that kids don't know big words. They certainly do. But what I mean is, why are we using these long and complicated words when there is a simpler word there that we could use to make it more accessible for more children? And those lessons learned that fairy tales usually have, I don't know, when I think about old-timey classical fairy tales, these lessons are within the text, but they come about naturally. And this story literally spells them out, like we have characters literally spelling them out. Oh, sometimes you have to think of a different solution. And that is just mind-boggling. It's mind-bogglingly boring. So overall, what I'm trying to say is that Thimble is a very try-hard fairy tale. It tried very hard to evoke the charm of old-timey fairy tales, and it made it feel kind of hollow, because you can literally pinpoint the places where it is trying really hard to be a fairy tale. Like, by all accounts, it is a fairy tale. Like, someone looked at what is the structure to write a fairy tale and wrote something like that. But you can feel the structure in it, and the childlike wonder is kind of missing. But overall, the story idea is kind of cute. It's about a fawn. She's just born on a warm day, and she tries to find her purpose. And while she is wandering the forest trying to find her purpose, she meets all of these animals and helps them out. And the greater story is, hey, maybe we don't need to find our purpose. We just need the people who love us. Okay, cool. It's like, it literally spells that out at the end, instead of just having the experience. So, yeah. I mean, the story is cute enough, but it's not a literary masterpiece, and if you are looking for fairy tales, turn to the classics. Go to the Brothers Grimm. Can't go wrong with them. But yeah, that is the end of my Adventurerathon vlog, because I climbed all the way to the top. Technically, there are a couple of days left in this readathon mini round, but I have a March TBR to get through, and it is not a small one. I still need to finish Beauty of Darkness, for example. So I will end this vlog here. And yeah, if you made it to the end of this vlog, of this video, let me know if you have participated in Adventurerathon. If not, why? Why? That's very rude of you. Participate in the next round. It's in July. Mark your calendars. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, because we need to appease the almighty algorithm. And if you don't want to talk to me, leave a sprout emoji down in the comments below. I have learned that not everyone has a bean emoji, me being one of these people, but there is a sprout emoji, so leave the sprout emoji down in the comments below. And yeah, I guess I will see you in the next video. Bye!